Did you know due to globalization, now more than 4.5 billion people use the internet worldwide? Hello, my name is Javier, and I'm explaining to you why globalization matters. See, topic 9.1, technology advances. New technology inventions such as the radio, the television, and the internet made it possible to connect with everyone around the world. Your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, anyone. See, these technologies now were used to spread social injustices around the world and to spread awareness on certain things. Now let's dive into the Green Revolution. You see, the Green Revolution was a revolution that increased crop production in developing countries, which made the population boom in those countries. See, the uses were synthetic fertilizers and crossbreeding, which made it possible to feed thousands upon millions of people in these developing countries, which made the population grow. Energy was also present in this time period as well. See, petroleum was not only used for fuel for cars, but to generate electricity for people, millions of people all around the world. Also, nuclear power also used to generate electricity for people all around the world. Now, let's talk about medical technology after 1900s. You see, antibiotics was used to prevent and fight off bacterial infections. The first antibiotic was penicillin, which was used after World War II to fight off, bacterial infections against soldiers. Lastly, I want to talk about birth control, which prevented many women to give birth in countries where the birth rates were high and the food production was not enough to support the people there. Starting with 9.2 diseases such as smallpox has killed millions of people each year. Sadly, when there's poverty, there's more chances of diseases to be spread. Our first disease I want to talk about is malaria, which is a disease that is spread to tropical areas. It spreads by mosquitoes. It has killed 500,000 people in the 21st century. Our second disease I want to talk about is tuberculosis, which is an airborne disease that spreads to coughs and sneezes, and it mostly affects impoverished areas as well. 9.3, technology and the environment. Over the course of years, humans have managed to both help and destroy our environment. First off, the Industrial Revolution has caused the Earth's temperatures to rise, which has caused global warming. Rapid population growth has caused the demand for croplands, which has caused deforestation. Another environmental change by humans is urbanization. And every year, each and more year, humans are now moving into urban areas. 9.4, economics in the global age. You see, after the Cold War, global trade skyrocketed, and two economic superpowers emerged. The first being capitalism, which emphasizes on the private ownership of things and items, such as the USA, that practices to this day. Second economic superpower is communism, which emphasizes on the public ownership of things that was used by the USSR or Russia and China to this day. By the mid-20th century, countries realized teamwork makes the dream work. So they created organizations such as the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund to help countries trade more easily, which fueled globalization, moving millions out of poverty and having countries have stable economies. 9.5 talks about reforms and responses. You see, in 1948, the UN has adopted the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which emphasizes on basic human needs and fundamental freedoms. The UN has also created UNICEF, which helps starving children and give them food in Europe. The UN has also helped and protect refugees. Refugee is a person who escapes their countries in times of helplessness and destruction. This topic also introduces global feminism and religious movements such as negritude and cultural movements as well. In this topic, racial equality movements was also prevalent as well. You see, in South Africa, Nelson Mandela became imprisoned after his peaceful protest against apartheid. Apartheid is racial discrimination in South Africa for anyone who is non-white. Now, after his imprisonment, Nelson Mandela became the first black president in South Africa. Now, moving to America, Martin Luther King Jr. was a civil rights activist who fought against Jim Crow laws. See, he founded the Southern Christian Leadership, which promoted peaceful protest against Jim Crow laws. 9.6 starts off with globalized culture. See, due to globalization, people started to adapt on consumer culture, where people focused on what they owned rather than what they believed in. Popular culture began to emerge as well, and it focused on ordinary people like you and me in their everyday lives expressed through media such as television, radios, and even the internet. International corporations such as Nike, Coke, and Apple has all used globalization in order to promote their products all across the world through media such as television, the radio, and your telephone, and internet. E-commerce was also created due to international corporations. Global influences on popular culture such as anime, reggae, and K-pop has all spread through various countries, resulting in fans and support from all around the world. Lastly, I want to talk about the globalization of sports, such as the World Cup and the Olympics, where countries from around the world all compete until there's one winner. 9.7 starts off with resistance to globalization. See, many people resisted globalization due to these various factors. First off, the use of child labor, which is pretty self-explanatory, where companies and big corporations force children to work for them for little to no pay at all. Secondly, people resisted globalization due to environmental factors, such as global warming and air pollution, which has caused the world's climate to rise up and ice caps from the Arctic to melt. Lastly, why people are resisting globalization is the unequal distribution of resources. See, some people in some countries get all the resources, while other countries are just left behind with little to no resources at all. The ideas of anti-globalization has been spread through the internet and used to share ideas and thoughts on globalizations. These thoughts and ideas and views have been posted on various websites such as YouTube and Google. Lastly, I want to talk about 9.8, institutions in a global world. Institutions such as the United Nations was created after World War II in 1945 to promote peace, security, and cooperation among countries. The International Monetary Fund and the World Bank has helped rebuild struggling economies after the World War and to provide loans for these countries as well. The United Nations has also expanded and promoted human rights. Here is why globalization is one of the greatest things that ever happened in humanity. First off, globalization has helped prevent millions of deaths due to new technologies such as penicillin and synthetic fertilizers. Penicillin being used to save millions of people from like bacterial diseases, and synthetic fertilizers are used to be fed to people in developing countries. Secondly, why globalization is a great thing. Globalization has also helped expand trade and create jobs, which moved millions of people out of impoverished areas. Third of all, globalization has helped fuse cultures together and facilitate them. See, through the use of globalizations, now cultures are closer more than ever, sharing ideas, thoughts, such as, you know, religion, Bollywood, anime, K-pop. Lastly, why globalization